for loop and while loop, how to create means I will write for, then I equals to 0, then I less than 10, then I plus plus. Okay, how to create means it depends on for what situation you are going to create a for loop. Like if you want 1 to 10 number to be printed, what you will do? You will be taking the initialization value as 1. Okay, now then what will happen? I equals to 1, I is less than 10, so printf I will be printing the value of I, that is 1. Fine. Who asked just now? Can you tell me the name?
Yes, ma'am. Shujai.
Shujai, sorry, Shujai. So 1 will be printed, Shujai. Is it clear? If this much is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I equals to I plus plus. Okay. I equals to I plus plus means I value will be equals to 2. So 2 is still lesser than 10. So 2 will be printed. So similarly,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 will be printed. Now you see I told you to print 1 to 10. So what will be my condition? My condition will be less than equals to. If I write less than equals to, then I will be getting 10 also to be printed. So Shujai, it is the situation you need to understand, and you need to understand that whether you are doing same thing again and again or not. If you are repeating something in the similar way again and again, it should be similar way. I am not printing 1, then 7, then something 8 and then 10, not with equivalent gap and all. Okay, then for loop is not applicable. When something is happening equivalently, okay, understanding 1, then you have given 1 increment, and always don't think it will be 1 increment. You can write here I equals to I plus 3. So if you are giving I equals to I plus 3,
Okay.
1 second, I equals to I plus 3, what will happen? First value to be printed will be 1, then 1 plus 3, so next value to be printed will be 4.
4.
Okay, then 4 plus of 3, so it will be 7. After 7 it will be 8, 9, 10, so it will be 10. Next value will be again plus 3, 13, but you see the terminating condition in red color, so 13 is not lesser equal to 10, so 13 will not be printed. So what I try to mean is, when you know something is happening continuously equivalently, okay, like with equal gap, equal interval, something is happening, at that time you will go for using for loop. Similar thing, same thing you can do using while loop. What you can do using for loop, you can do using while loop. But when then specifically if you want to know where to apply for loop and where to apply while loop, then I must say where the condition is very simple, like you are just you know that increment is 3, or increment is 3 into 2, 6, increment is minus 2, next element is going to be printed in minus 2 interval or plus 7 interval. When the next element to be printed has a very proper or like normal relationship with the previous element, so previous value, previous iteration is what? First iteration we have printed 1, second iteration we have printed 4, third iteration we have printed 7. So this each time whenever the loop is executing, it is called 1 1 interval. Okay, so this is the first interval where we have printed 1. Okay, so like that. But when the condition is like you want to print so many things, you want to perform so many operations, there is nothing much like I equal I plus 3 or I into 2 plus 3, you can take here j, that much complication is not there. Simply you want the loop to be executed, so you can go for while loop. Like you want to write so many lines of code and you just want it to be repeated, so usually in that case we will go for while loop. But there is no difference between for and while. Where the for can be applicable, there while also can be applicable. But for bigger program, when so many lines of code are there and increment is just for iterating the loop, it is not like I am modifying the I value in some pattern. When it is related to some pattern, I want to put 1 star in one line, then second line 3 star, third line 4 star. When it is related to some pattern or some equivalent value in equivalent interval, will go for loop. But normal execution, when I want the something to be repeated again and again, just repeated, so you can go for while loop. Okay, understood, Sujay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Sujay?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Sujay?
Thank you.
Okay. Any other doubt? Anyone? I can see only 56 students, so you can ask your doubts. If you have any doubt. No doubt from yesterday. Okay, so I will still do little bit revision because I want some more students to join, then only formally I can start. What we did yesterday is, see, I have taken a equals to 5. So one memory is allocated, some address is there for that memory, and I have allocated memory for a pointer variable. So some memory is also allocated for, see the color code, PTR, that is 4000. When I have assigned address of A inside PTR variable, what happened? Ampersand A means what? Address of A, that is assigned to PTR variable. So this is 2000. Now if I want to print star PTR, what is the value of star PTR? Star PTR is nothing but A. Star PTR is nothing but A. How I showed last day, star PTR means what? Star PTR means it is equivalent to content of PTR. Normal PTR is a variable, so let it be pointer, let it be any kind of variable, but PTR is a variable, pointer is also a variable. So one second. So when pointer is also a variable, so it has a content. What is the content of the pointer? That is PTR, content of the pointer. Pointer name is PTR here, that is 2000. Okay, now, so what I wrote, content of PTR is 2000. I have replaced C concentrate here. So content of 2000, what is content of 2000 is 5. Okay, so star PTR means 5. So you should just remember and write it in your memory that if you are having a pointer and you are holding the address of one variable inside the pointer, so writing star pointer means you are writing star and pointer name means you are actually accessing the variable, okay, whose address you have stored inside the pointer variable. Okay, I'll go for double pointer. What is double pointer? When you are giving double pointer, inside double pointer you will be copying the address of a single pointer. See, P is a single pointer here, so P can store the address of a normal variable, normal integer. But address of a pointer variable, what you will do? You will be taking a double pointer. So I will tell you in different way. Single pointer's address can be stored in, like, one star pointer address will be stored in a 2 star pointer. So 2 star pointer is double pointer. So double pointer P1 will be holding the address of normal pointer. Okay. So any doubt in between, you please don't hesitate to ask me. Second important thing, what we did, we can print the address of address variable. Address means here P is also P holding address. P1 itself is holding an address. I have one more address, that is address of NO, which actually assigned to P. So any kind of address, if I want to print, what will happen is I have to use the format specifier, that is %U. Okay, I have to use the format specifier, that is %u. In place of %u, I can use %x or I can use %p. So if I want to print the value of last day, I have showed you. So I told I could not able to show you all of you. Please concentrate once again. Good evening. So we will start with little new thing what we have just done yesterday, but I could not able to show you because this screen was not getting activated. So what we have seen is when we are taking all of you, please see the other screen which is not shared screen, it is a direct white screen. So just all of you can see, just response, all of you can see. The other screen where Turbo C or this thing is not.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So in that, I will show you when I have, suppose I am taking something else, whatever is coming to my mind, I equals to 10. So I equals to 10 means what? Even though we present in very nice way, but until and unless we do the board work, even whatever I will teach, they will tell, write it, ma'am. We need to get the feelings of board. Okay, what can be done on board cannot be done on PPT. So int I equals to 10. So it means this is I. If it is not visible, immediately tell me, I will stop. And a value of that location is 10. Okay, now this location is 100. Okay, now let's say I have taken a pointer int star p and I am assigning p equals to %i. Okay, now what will happen? Star p means one p memory will be allocated. It will be having one address. Let's say the address is 200. Okay, now when I will do p equals to %i, what will happen corresponding to this? I am writing p equals to, I forgot to change the color, p equals to %i. When I will be doing, this is my address of I. So what will happen? Address of I will be stored inside the variable, pointer variable p. Okay, now if I want to print what is p, p is a pointer. So p is holding an address, content of p is a pointer, means p's content will be address. Address of what? Address of the variable whose address I have assigned. That is different, but p itself is a pointer. Now what I am telling, p can be printed with the help of %u. It can be printed with the help of %x. It can be printed with the help of %p. There are three ways to print a pointer. Okay, pointer means address of some other variable. So if I write 3 times p and p, because all the cases I want to print the value of p. But what will be the output? Output will be when I am writing %u, it will be giving the integer address of p. So what is the integer value of p? What is the integer value of p? That is 100. Okay, but when I will be giving %x and %p, I will be getting the floating point. I will be getting hexadecimal address, hexadecimal address of 100. For p also I will be getting the hexadecimal address of p. Okay, because x and p will print the address in hexadecimal form, and you will be printing the value of one address in decimal form. Yesterday when we have executed the program, we have got the hexadecimal address of the location is FFF4, and we have seen it is coming capital FFF4. Okay, so one is giving in capital small letter, lowercase letter, and one P, percent P is giving in capital letter. Okay. Where is the difference? Do we have any difference between these two? No, we don't have any difference between these two. Small f and capital F both are equivalent. In interview they will be asking you can you convert, and can you tell me first of all why it differs, and is there any difference between these two or not, or if it differs, what is the difference? If you want to get the decimal address, what will be the decimal address? Or in your technical written round you may face this question. So how to convert this to decimal? First of all, I will tell you, I told you yesterday also, in hexadecimal format, after 9, 10 will be treated as A. So 11 will be treated as B. Okay, 12 will be treated as C. So similarly 15 will be treated as F, will be treated as 15. So this is nothing but 15, 15, 15, 4. So how to convert this to decimal is, this is the 0, this will be having 0 weight, this will be having what weight 1, this will be having weight 2, and this will be having weight 3. So how to convert this? You should take 4 into 16 to the power 0, then 15 into 16 to the power 1 plus 15 into 16 to the power 2, then 15 into 16 to the power 3. Okay, it means this 4 is converted to 4 into 16 to the power 0. This 15, all of you are concentrating, all of you are able to understand. This 15 is converted to 16 to the power 1. Okay, let me use some other color. So this 15 is converted to it may not be visible. This 15 will be converted to 15 into 16 to the power 2, and last one 15 will be converted to 15 into 16 to the power 3. So if you calculate, you can see the value is 65,524 or kind of like that. So in this case, you will be getting decimal address as 65,524, whereas the floating point address what you will be getting is FFF4. So you need to know what is the conversion method for hexadecimal to decimal. So it is needed for pointer. Okay, is it understandable? If not, if yes or no, can you please write in the chat box, or you can just unmute and you can let me know.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Understandable.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
You have any doubt? You have any doubt?
No, ma'am. Ma'am.
Any doubt anyone is having? Ma'am, once again. Okay. Very good, Adarsh. It's very good. You will be asking. See, Adarsh, suppose what address %x is printing for one pointer. Let's say the address of P is 65,565. But if you are printing, it is not this one is actually 65,565, whatever it is. So when you are printing using %u, it will be printed as 65,565. But when you will be printing it as with %x, same value you are printing. You are printing P also, P here. You are printing for this also P. For %p format specifier, you are printing P again. You are using 3 different format specifier to print the same value. What you are getting is, for this you are, for %u you are getting the result 65,565, 64, let's say 64, And when you are printing in hexadecimal, when you are printing in %x, you are getting small FFF4. When you are printing in %p, you are getting capital FFF4. Okay. So you need to know that these two are hexadecimal address. Same address, 65,524 only. 524 only. This is a random address. Don't think that I have taken some big value for some purpose. It is just a random number only which is assigned. So these numbers hexadecimal will be printed. So what I was telling is how to convert this hexadecimal to decimal. So this is FFF4 is a hexadecimal value which is equivalent to capital FFF4, because in hexadecimal small a and capital A are equivalent. Similarly, small f and capital F are equivalent. Okay. So when you are converting FFF4, you are converting 15, 15, 15, 4. Okay. Now, how is the conversion? 4 should be, 4's weight is 0. First step's weight is 1. This one is 2. This one is 3. So this individual element will be multiplied by 16 to the power of this. So what it will be? 4 will be multiplied with 16, 4 into 16 to the power 0. Similarly, this 15 means F will be multiplied by 16 to the power 1. Next 15's weight is 2. This position weight is 2. From LSB, it is in the position of 2. So this 15 will be multiplied by 16 to the power 2. And this last 15, this will also be multiplied. This will be multiplied by 16 to the power 3. So if you perform the addition between them, you will be getting 65,524. You can prove that whatever address in decimal the pointer is giving, same address it is, but it is in the hexadecimal format. Others, you understood? How we get the value of f? Yes, others, how you get the value of f is in hexadecimal. In hexadecimal, 0 to 9 is normal. Okay, but from 10 will be represented as A. Okay, 11 will be represented as B. So it is not only A, capital A also it can be, capital B also it can be. So similar way, if we proceed, what will be the value for 15? 15 will be small f or capital F. So when you can find one number which consists of either small f or capital F, let me take a small number. Suppose the address is coming as AF. So AF means what? This and this position is 1. Okay, so F is what? F is 15. So I will do 15 in zero. 15 means what? 15, because it is F, I have taken 15. Okay, why 16 to the power 0? Because weight of this position is 0. So as your base is 16, it is a hexadecimal. So you are taking the conversion factor as 6.
Ma'am, network issue. Can't hear you.
Ma'am, due to network issue, I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. I have just muted. Sorry. 1 second. Okay. Are you able to see the video?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to see?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible? Okay. Sometimes no, it will be muted automatically. I didn't get to know. Okay. So you see here, it is 15 into 16 to the power 0 because f is 15 and its position weight is 0. So what we have taken 16 to the power 0. This is 1. So next multiplication factor will be along with 10, it will be 16 to the power 1. So 15 into 16 to the power 0 is 1. So this will be 15. Then 16 into 10. So it will be 160. So it will be 1. So it will be 175. So this hexadecimal, if you convert to decimal, it will be 175. Is it understandable?
Yes, ma'am. Got.
Okay. Who has asked me? Who has asked me? Ashish. Ashish. Ashish, just write it in the chat box or just mute yourself and tell me. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you, Ashish, for asking. Okay. How we got the value of f, ma'am, once again. Okay. What is the process? Okay. Very good, dear students, for attending. I'll be very happy if you join on time. It will be good, like we can do everything together. It will not be a problem. Okay. Now let us start with this. So we were doing pointer to array and array of pointer last day. Is it understandable? Do you have any question in that? You have any question is in pointer to array and array of pointer? Pointer to array is within bracket star a. So we both are bracket, both are having same priority. So we are taking the name of pointer first. So you need to seeing this, you first need to decide whether it is a pointer or whether it is a array. Okay, that is the first decision. So this is a pointer. Pointer to what? Remaining thing will be taken in the quote of array. So it is a pointer to integer array. What type of integer array? It is what type of array? Integer type of array. How many elements integer array is having? 5 elements it is having. Nowhere it is told that it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just for our understanding we have taken. Now next one is, this is no bracket is there. So array will be taken priority. So base thing is A. A will be treated here as array. Okay. So A is an array of pointer. So A is what? A will be holding 5 addresses. Which address will be pointing to one integer. This second one is also a pointer which will be holding the address of one integer. So it may be like 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. So if you go to 100 location, you will be getting a value, suppose 1. Okay. Next is 200. So if you go to 200 location, you will be getting a value like 3. Okay. Is it clear? Similarly, if we are taking array of pointer, if you are taking array of pointer, here I have taken the example with character. So it means what? See, name is a array of what? Array of 3 character pointer. So array of 3 pointers. Array of 3 pointers. 3 character pointers. So in this case, it will be 3 pointers, 3 addresses, where the each address, first address will be pointing to Bobby, second address will be pointing to Saira, and third address will be pointing to Priya. Okay, is it clear? If it is clear, I will proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All of you, I
Ma'am,
just want your consent.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, clear.
ma'am, it means
Yes, ma'am.
pointer 1. Ma'am, it means pointer 1 store address 100. Ma'am, pointer 1 store address 100.
Pointer 1 is the
Ma'am,
address. Yes.
Okay, ma'am.
1 is an address. Okay, pointer 1 is not a value. Pointer 1 is an address of a memory location. Okay, pointer 1 is the address of a memory location. Okay, so in that memory location, if you are taking it as a character, so in this memory location you have the Bobby stored. If you have taken integer array of 5, like it is an array of 5 integer pointer, then in this case it will be holding the address of one integer. Okay, second case, when it is character, it will be holding the address of a character, and if you go to that address, you will be finding a string. Okay, array of character you will be getting. So there is no limit of how many characters it will store. Let's say the memory location it is storing, A is storing first location, that is pointer 1 is 100. So if you go to 100 location, you can get a string like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H up to Z. Okay, so like that you can get. Is it clear, Kaushiki?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Okay. Now I'll go for one special type of pointer is called dangling pointer, or it is sometimes called dangling pointer. What is dangling pointer? Dangling pointer is, it is a common bug related to a pointer and memory management. This type of pointer is called dangling pointer or wild pointer, which is a well-known question asked in interview. What is a wild pointer or what is a dangling pointer? Wild animals are those which creates problem for us. Okay, so wild pointer are those which creates problem for us. Okay, so what is wild pointer? When one pointer is pointing to a value, pointing to a location, and that location is suddenly got deleted. Okay, location is suddenly got deleted. So what will happen? Pointer will be pointing to a location which is already deleted. Are you understanding? Okay, you just see the other screen. Just see the other screen once. See the other screen once. Let's say I was holding a ice cream cup. I have the ice cream. Okay, I have the ice cream cup. Now ice cream cup is removed from the hand, but hand is still in this condition. So that is what the dangling pointer is. First, dangling pointer was pointing to a cup of ice cream. Then ice cream is taken away. So what will happen? Hand will be straight. So what will be your responsibility to avoid dangling pointer? You need to take your hand back. Okay, that is the solution for avoiding dangling pointer. So I will just show you one example. You see through screen sharing also you can see both are opened now. So I am, as of now, I will be writing. So you just check it. I have taken okay, you see the shared screen. Okay, two screens are creating any problem for you? Can you see both the screens parallelly?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Hello, can you see both the screens parallelly? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. So you see here I have taken one program where I have taken main, and inside main I have taken a character pointer. Now just given a bracket. Inside the bracket we have written A equals to character A we have taken, and character A value is capital A. Now you see here, when I have taken a character pointer and I have taken one character capital A, and I have assigned the address of small a to character pointer. Okay, str. So outside the bracket, just outside the bracket, I am printing star str. What will be the value of star str? If you want me to write diagrammatically, I will be writing diagrammatically so that it can be more understandable for you. I have taken main, that I have taken main function. Then inside main function I have taken a character. Let me change the color. I have taken a character pointer star str. Okay, now I have given one bracket. Okay, inside this bracket what I have written is char a. Char a and assigned a value to a, that is capital A. Okay, now we have assigned str equals to ampersand A, and we have closed the bracket. So in this case what will happen, let me draw according to the color. When I have taken star str, what has happened, one memory location is allocated. Okay, that memory location name is str. Okay, let's say the address of this location is 10. What is the value of this location? No value, it is a single pointer. Now char small a equals to a. What is the corresponding step for that? One variable memory is allocated, that is small a. Okay, let's say the address of this location is 20, and what is the content? Content is a. Now what I have done here, I have assigned the address of a, that is 20, inside str. Okay, now outside the bracket I am printing printf %s, because it is a string character pointer, you can use even. Okay, str. What will be the output? Do you have any idea? Can you understand it will become a dangling pointer? If assuming no, I am just explaining, because we have spent so much of time for so many things, that is for understanding, not a problem, but I am not able to cover much content. It means what, you know, this is pointing to, sorry, str is pointing to a. All of you, can you tell me, is it clear or not? Str is holding the address of a. Str is holding the address of a. So I can just give a arrow from str to a. Is it or not, Akash? Akash Datta?
Video paused, ma'am.
Ma'am, video paused.
Akash?
Ma'am, video.
Yeah. Now it's coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's coming. Okay. I have
Yes,
just
ma'am.
I only have
Yes,
I wanted to check the name. That's why I have paused. Okay. Anindita, are you able to understand? Till now, did you understood? Till now, did you understood?
Yes,
Anindita. Okay. Video will be paused again. I just want to make sure, because all of you are not telling. Adarsh Khan, have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Adarsh, Anupam, Arindam, Arjun,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Indranil, Joy, Neelam, Moinak, not understood.
Yes,
Very good,
ma'am.
Moinak.
Yes, ma'am.
Have told. Okay, Moinak, I will just repeat it once for you, for everyone. See here, I've taken a main. Inside the main, I have written char star str. So it is a character pointer, Moinak. So I have taken a pointer variable. Let's say its address is 10. Video is coming. Normal widescreen is coming.
Yes, ma'am.
Niloy, okay. So str is a normal pointer variable. So just overlook this 20. I won't waste time for drawing once again. So str is allocated. Just see the color. Okay, I have used multiple colors so that you should not feel bored. And even if I repeat twice, you can understand how much is this. See, this black color means what will happen? This location will be reserved. Okay, this location name is str and address is suppose 10. This, see, char star str is what? Str is a memory. See the black color thing only. Str is a memory location whose address is 10. Okay. Now, when you are writing char a, what is happening? Char small a equals to a. Char a's location name is a. Let's say the location address is 20, and what you are storing in this location, that is capital A. So capital A is stored inside A. Clear, Moinak? This much is clear, Moinak?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
when you are assigning, very good, Moinak, when you are assigning ampersand A inside str, means address of A is how much? 20. That you are assigning to str. So str's content will be now, because of this green color, what will happen? This ampersand A means 20 will be assigned to str. So now we can tell that str is pointing to A because str is holding the address of A. Address of A is 20. So that str is holding. Okay. So if I draw the diagram in straight way, how I can draw is, 1 second. Just give me a second. I will be writing it here, this just diagram. I will just redraw this diagram like this. See, this is str. Str address is 10 and this is A. A's address is 20 and A's content is A, capital A. Okay. Now, whenever you are assigning this 20 as a content of str, what will happen? Str will be pointing to this location. This no arrow will be formed. I am just telling you to logically think. As I told, if I raise my hand, I am holding the ice cream bowl. Now this is my hand and this is the ice cream bowl. Hand is pointing to ice cream bowl. Now at this moment, if somehow this A goes, somehow this ice cream bowl goes, what will happen? There will be nothing, but still 10 will be holding the content 20. Is this much understandable? Somehow
Yes,
if A goes, what will happen? STR will be still holding 20, but 20 is not existing. I'm spreading the hand, ice cream bowl is not there. So what will happen in this case? If A is not existing, str will become a dangling pointer which will be holding 20, but 20th location is deleted. A is deleted. Okay. So how it is happening? How it is happening? You see here, when we are printing the value of str outside this bracket implies this A is having local scope inside the bracket. Inside this two bracket, A is declared. A is not declared here along with str. So A will not have scope outside the bracket. So as A will not have the scope, it is called a block concept. So we have introduced a new concept called block in C programming that will be much used for C++, Java also. But this is a concept of block in C programming. A is declared inside the block. So A doesn't have scope outside the block. Inside the block, str was pointing to A. But outside the block, A will not have existence. So str will become a pointer which is storing the address of A, whereas A is out of scope. A is not existing. So str will become a dangling pointer. Did you understood what I told?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Scope scope part. Okay, please repeat the scope part. I have got one comment. Scope part is what you know. Video is seen. Normal video is seen.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Scope part is what you know.
Yes.
Suppose this is main. This is void. I have got a request that explain scope part once. This is my void main. This concept I think may not be aware. You may not be aware. So here I have taken one variable. Just fake example I am taking. Int a. Okay. Then I am taking a variable int I equals to 10. Now I have just given a bracket. No for, no while, no do, no if, nothing. Just I have given a bracket and I have closed it. Okay. So inside, sorry, I will not close it here. I am writing here printf, just all format I have given, let's say, suppose I am printing I. Now I am closing the bracket. Outside the bracket, I am writing a equals to a plus I. Let's say I have assigned the value of a equals to 20. Okay. So what is the value you are expecting? A is 20, I is 10. So A is supposed to be 30. But that will not happen. Why it will not happen? Because 10, this I variable, it is just like behaving as a local variable. I variable has a scope between this block. Okay, so outside this block, I is not having any scope. Okay, three things we have learned in this context. One is block, one is scope of the variable, third one is dangling pointer. Okay, so remember this, all three are important. Okay, because it is very silly, you can understand. It is very silly that giving a block, they can anytime give you a block and ask. Okay, now I want to give you introduction to function, but let us not before we go with function, let us have quiz time for some time. So one small quiz I will give. Just tell me the answer. All of you, please participate. Just tell me the answer. All are telling option C. Ashish, Mridha, you have written, ma'am, why it won't work outside the bracket? Did not understood that part. Okay, Ashish, the answer is, it works like a local variable. How will I tell? Are you aware of local variable and global variable? Ashish?
No, ma'am.
Ashish?
Hello, ma'am. No.
Ashik, sorry. No, okay. Local variable is like, okay, you have a hotel in your locality. Okay, Ashik? You have, let's say what I will tell, when I am telling one big hotel only, I will tell you have Taj in your locality. Okay. Now, you have house in this locality, even I have house in this locality, Pramit also has house in this locality. Okay. Now, you have gone to buy biryani. So, I also can go and buy biryani from Taj. If I have money, you can also go, Pramit also can go. Okay. All three of us can go and we can access the biryani. Okay. So, this biryani which is found in Taj, that is a global for all of us. Is it clear what is global?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Yeah, ma'am, I understood.
Now Ashik's mother is making very nice biryani. So Ashik's mother has locked the gate. Front gate also she has locked and back gate also she has locked. These are the two brackets, Ashik. Okay. Inside that Ashik's mother is cooking biryani. Will I be getting the access to that biryani, Ashik?
No.
I won't get. So local variable is like that, your front door and back door both are closed. So here, just with respect to this code, you just assume your front gate is a bracket, end gate is a bracket. So in between what is happening, that is available inside that. Ashik is eating that. Ashik value I can print. Ashik can tell the test of that. But outside the door of Ashik, before the door of front gate and after the area of back gate, in that locality, Ashik's mother's biryani is not available. Okay. So that is the concept of local variable and global variable. Global variable has the scope, like what we have taken here, A in this example has scope everywhere. Everywhere in the program, if you write A equals to A plus 1, so 20 will be modified to 20 plus 1 because it is not declared inside some bracket. But I is declared inside the bracket. So when the bracket closes, just unmute. When the bracket closes, scope of I gets over. Okay, so I is available. Ashik's mother's biryani is available inside the bracket only, inside the room only. So similarly, inside the bracket only I is available. Outside the bracket I is not available. So I cannot join my home cooked biryani or home cooked chicken. I cannot think I will add it with Ashik's mother's biryani and I will have. I cannot make I and A to join because I is not existing outside the bracket. That is the concept of local variable and global variable. Ashik, you understood these two bracket. Inside that I is available. Outside that bracket I is not available. Okay, that is the main funda. Okay, so I is local to this bracket. Inside the bracket I is local. Okay, did you understood, Ashik? If not, you tell me. I will give one more example.
Can you explain it once more? Ma'am, can you explain it once more?
Okay. That example, or I will give direct example. You check with the direct example. One second. Okay. One second. See here. See this example once again. See void main. Void main, where void main is getting ended. Here the void main is getting ended. This is the void main opening. This is void main closing. Int I is available in this boundary. Int A is available in this boundary. Okay. So int A is accessible from anywhere of the main. Okay. Even if you want to use A in between the bracket, you can use A. But where is the I declared? I is declared inside this bracket. Inside these two bracket. Which is opening here, I is declared, I is printed, then the bracket is closed. So I exist only inside this area, this local area. Okay. I am taking one more variable, int J. Where is J? J is not inside any bracket. It is inside main. Somewhere. Okay. So if I write J equals to 5, I can write A equals to A plus of J. But I cannot write A equals to A plus of I. Because I is local to this block where scope of I opens here, scope of I closes here. Okay. So I is not available outside this bracket. So I cannot use I outside the bracket. Is it understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, who asked just now? Samudrita?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So three things what we have learned is, one is block concept. See, surprisingly, you see there is no do while or for or if. Just one opening bracket and closing bracket creates a block and makes a variable unavailable outside the bracket. Okay. Okay. So now coming back to the question, what will be the answer? and why will be the answer. How to decide? Deciding factors are
array of pointer.
it is a
Ma'am, pointer variable, ma'am.
it is a
Pointer variable.
Pointer to an array.
tell me what it is.
Ma'am, array of pointer.
Array or pointer.
Okay, this part is clear that it is a function. Here there is a function. This part is clear.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No, it is clear that it is pointing to some function. Okay, there are lot of confusion. So if there are lot of confusion, I will give you time to think. And if it is you feel none of the above is also correct, that also can be taken. If there is no confusion like first day, I will be giving it to you. Then tomorrow I will come back with this with the proper answer. Okay. So if there is lot of answers I am getting B, C, D. So you just take a snap of this, think about it and let me know tomorrow. Okay. Take a snap of it, all of you. Think and answer me. And you may tell me if it is not correct at all. None of the answer is available. Like none of the available answer is correct. Okay. Now, but this part, yes,
Hello,
Chandrasekhar. Ha, tell me, Chandrasekhar.
Hello, ma'am.
Who is talking?
Ma'am, Moinak.
Moinak. Tell me, Moinak.
Ma'am, in the first bracket, there is array of pointer. Ma'am, in the first page. Ma'am, it was array of pointer. Array of pointer inside the first bracket. And there is another bracket for function. So, ma'am, this array of pointer is pointing to a function.
Okay, very good. So I won't tell now your answer is correct or not. Let others also think. All of your friends should think, and we'll come to conclusion tomorrow. Okay, like how we have given the first day's question for you to think, and you all have come up with the answers. So similarly, this is the work for you today. One more work I will give for tomorrow also. Okay, now read it. This you have to read. One of you first read the simplest one. What is that? Any one of you?
Ma'am, P is a pointer to an integer type array.
Complete it.
Integer type array whose size is 10.
Yes, Modrisha, it is correct. Pointer to an integer array of 10 elements. You are also correct. Who gave the answer first?
Ma'am, it's me, Shubhajit.
Who gave the answer first? Shubhajit, it is absolutely correct. But 10, that 10 also you need to mention. You told correctly, but you need to mention that. Okay. So what Shubhajit and Modrisha told, P is a pointer to, tell me, repeat Shubhajit once again.
Ma'am, P is a pointer to an integer type array whose size is 10.
Yes.
Or which contains 10 elements.
P is a pointer. Why we are taking P as a pointer? Because both are having same priority, first bracket and third bracket. So pointer will get the priority. So P will be taken as a pointer. It is pointing to an array of 10 integer elements. Coming to the next one. What is the next one? First one, you just go to first one. If there is a difference in opinion, I will give you as home task. If you can conclude, then it will be solved in the class only. First one, tell me.
P is a pointer of integer type function which contains a pointer of
One
array.
second, Subhajit. There is no function like integer type of function. Huh? No function
Okay.
like integer type function. Return type will be the integer. I will just shift to
Okay, ma'am.
function. Don't worry. I will just next topic will be the function. So because we have done that
Ma'am,
array of
P is
pointer to array.
Is the, ma'am, ma'am, P is the
P is a okay.
pointer
Try.
to
No
a
problem. No
function.
problem.
Ma'am, P is the pointer to a function which has two arguments. One argument is a pointer to integer type array with size is 2, and other argument has pointer to a integer type of void function which return types integer.
Okay. Okay. Very good attempt, Kaushiki. Okay. Shubhajit, you are telling. You just tell me. Shubhajit, you are telling. You just tell me. Sorry, I stopped you.
No, ma'am. I was saying that P is a pointer to an function which contains two arguments. That is, one is a integer type pointer which contains two elements, and another is a integer type function which returns void, and the whole function returns integer type.
No, only second part, one small correction is needed. It may be difficult. Like first one, what I gave, maybe you can guess, but this one is little difficult to guess. So let us explain it here only. I have written the line so that it helps you understanding. But first one will be as your question. Okay. So see here, int star p, int star 2, comma, int star void. Kaushiki, what you told is completely correct. P is a, everybody, Shubhajit also has done correctly only. The pointer, this is a pointer. See, first of all, I should find out the brackets. How to find out? This is a bracket. Let me give some color. If it is not possible to understand, please tell me. I will write and explain. So I will, let me give a gap. Okay. Next part is, you can see here, this is another bracket, because this closing bracket is for this opening bracket. This closing bracket is that second closing bracket is for this opening bracket. Okay. So this bracket opens here and it closes here. So let me give a different color. Okay, let it be in the same color. So it is what, both are a single bracket. So as both are single bracket, associativity will be left to right. So left side one should be told first. Left one is what? P is a pointer. Now P is a pointer to what? This symbol, as I told you, this is a symbol for function. It has closing bracket, it has closing bracket, and it has opening bracket. 1 second. Just a second. One minute. Okay. See here. This is one bracket closing. Okay. And this is one bracket opening. This one is one bracket opening. Okay. So one bracket opened and one bracket closed. So this is what? This is a symbol for function. After when we write one opening bracket and one closing bracket. So this is a opening and this is a closing. Okay. So this is a pointer to a function. So what we'll tell, P is a pointer to a function. Now the function is what type of function? In between you can see one comma. So function has two arguments or parameters. So this is the first one and this is the second one. First one is what? It is a pointer to one integer of two elements. You can easily find out it is a pointer int star 2. So it is a pointer to integer of two elements. Second one is what? Confusion is in second one. Second one is a pointer. To what? Pointer to a function. Because you see here, if you just concentrate on only this much. Let me draw 1 second. Let me take a highlighter. If you just concentrate on only this part, you can see two brackets. You can see one bracket, inside that there is a star, and if you can see this another bracket, inside that you have void. So it is a pointer to a function. Pointer to a function. Function does not have any parameters. Function does not have any parameters. So it is a pointer to a function which is not having any parameter and has return type, that is return type is integer. Is it understandable? Is it understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone. Now the whole function's return type part, whole function's return type is integer. Okay, so the third one, take a snap. I will be asking you tomorrow.
Okay, ma'am.
Have taken snap. Okay. Okay, tips of the day. I will not go. I will go to function, then I will go to the tips of the day. Okay. So what is a function? Introduction to function. Very fast you try to understand. When we use function, can you tell me? Tomorrow I will do structure union, structure padding and application of union, which is a very little different portion. So this will be covered tomorrow. I will start giving introduction in nested structure and all today. Please finish with the function. What is function? Can you tell me, and why function is used?
Ma'am, we use function to modularize any program.
Okay. What is the meaning of modularizing, Shubhajit?
Different tasks in different functions.
That means we can change any line of code anytime, and we don't have to change the whole program for that line of code.
Okay, very good. Any other reason?
Madam, we can
any other
for optimization and ability rewriting the same logic or code.
Okay, Mautrisha wrote, we want to perform various tasks in a single function. That is partially true. Partially true. But
Madam, avoiding rewriting same logic or code and optimization.
Arjun, very good answer. Arjun, very good answer. Code optimization. Why to write the same thing again and again? Okay, that is what I was searching for. All the answers are correct. What you have told is one perspective of function, but main aim of writing a function is code optimization. Okay, that will be asked in interview, why we go for function. If we want to repeat to make the program short and easily understandable, yes, that is also one perspective true, but Moinak, but the main thing is what just now we have discussed. We have to do the same work again and again in a function. Like let us take an example, you are participating in a quiz, 2 in a group. Okay, so whatever answer Shubhajit is giving and whatever answer Indranil is giving, so both the answer both are getting some score. That score will be added. Similarly, in other stream, one more other, suppose Adarsh is there, and along with Adarsh, let's say Bolai is there. So whatever Bolai and others score, that also should be added. So there are 100 teams. So 100 times we need to perform summation. So what we will do for performing one summation, we need minimum 3 variable. 2 marks, Shubhajit, and one more what I told, let's say others, 2 marks should be added. Again, X and Y, their marks should be added. 100 times I want to perform summation. So 100 into 3, 300 variable I will be taking. For one addition, 3 variables are needed. All of you can understand. C equals to A plus B basic program. So what will I do in this case? C equals to A plus B, I will be writing once. Okay. And I will be calling this C equals to A plus B portion again and again in the program. Okay, let's see from where we can start and understand better. See here, don't concentrate on other part of the program, just concentrate from here. Okay, just concentrate only this part of the program, only this much, 4 lines. Okay, so see here, int ABC I have taken, entered 2 numbers, A and B suppose is entered as 3 and 7, so C will be equals to 10. Okay, don't even see this also. 1 second. Don't even see this also. This is means we are just giving command line, we are deactivating the code, compiler will not go through it. Okay, now we are just writing printf, C. Okay, so what will happen, 10 will be printed. So I have written a function, all the batches are there, all quiz batches are there, 2 members each, both will give their marks and that will be added and that will be their team marks. Okay, so first and second person's marks got added. So this is the function body I have made. Function body is what work exactly I want to repeat, that work should be kept inside the function body. So this is about your body of the function. I have given a convenient name for the function, that is sum, because it is performing addition. I am not returning any value from the function. Function symbol is opening bracket and closing bracket. I am not returning any value, so I have given the return type as void. Okay, is it understandable what is function body? Shubhajit?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you want to perform it for 100 times, for 100 batches you want to perform addition. So I am going in bottom up approach, from bottom to top I am moving towards the program. Now I have to perform the addition, so I need to call this function. Okay, I need to call this function. Okay, if I want coffee to come out of the coffee maker, I need to press the coffee maker switch. Okay, so what is coffee maker switch? Is calling the coffee maker function. How many times I will press coffee maker's button, that switch, that many cups of coffee will be created. So let me call the coffee maker function first time. So let me perform the addition of the first Shubhajit's batch. Okay, so let me call the function sum. Okay, so this is, I will write it here. Let me write it here. So this is my function call. Now you see the fun of function execution. This is called, there are one more line left in between main. Okay, I will go top part. I have not yet gone. One more line is left before main closes. That line is executed? No. What happened is, let's say control is here. Okay, control is here. Let me give a, let me write 1 here. So control is here now. Now from here, next line to be executed should be this line, because it is a sequential execution. But what will happen, this line will not be executed. Control will be jumped to the location where the function is written. So this will be the second step to be executed. Okay, so all the things will be calculated. Let's say this is 37, so 10 will be calculated and 10 will be printed. That's all my work is. 10 is printed. My work is done. I somehow need to see, this is a void. I have taken a 1 second. I have taken the return type of the function as void. So it won't return any value. So how this sum will be executed? Can you tell me? There is one line left in the main program. How I will come back here? I have made my print statement here itself. So 10 got printed. 10 got printed here. Okay, 10 got printed. This is deactivated. I won't write it here. So how the control will come back to execute that blue color sum once again and calculate the sum of the marks of second quiz team? Again, I am telling, yesterday also I told, void means it is not that it is not returning any value. it is returning a null value to the calling point. What is my calling point? This is the calling point. So here returning null value is just like returning the control back to this line, even though no value is returned. So my third step will be control will again come back, control will come back to this point. So this is 3. Here the control will come back. Who will come back? No value. Control will come back here. Sequential execution will be done. So next line will be executed. Next line is sum. So again, if I take it as 4, fifth will be this one. Again the same function will be called. So this will be, one second. This will be 5. Okay, this will be 5. Again 2 different values will be entered. Let's say values are 5, 9, 6, 9. So 15 will be calculated and 15 will be printed. Return void. Control will again come back here. Control will again come back here. Where will be the control? This is, I'm just drawing the control. So 6th point of my control is here. Okay. Now, there is any more thing to be executed here? No, nothing will be executed. So main is over. Once the main is started, main should be ended. Whether this part is understandable. Tell me. Shall I repeat?
Ma'am, repeat please.
Okay. May I know who is talking?
Ma'am, Samapti Das.
Samapti. Okay. No one is having doubt. I feel you may have doubt. No one is having doubt. Ma'am, repeat please. Okay. Very good. Okay. You feel free to tell. Okay. So this is a function, Samapti. This part, Mautrisha. This part is clear for everyone. Shujai, very good for asking. See, this is a part which is void main, void sum, body of the function. What is the body of the function? Scanning to number, adding and printing. That much is clear, hopefully, for everyone. Now, okay, add this part also and explain. Okay, let me add the other part also and explain. This is a function declaration. Function declaration means how you declare a variable like int I. Here the function is what? Return type is void. Okay, and you know why int I we write? Why int I we write? Normal declaration int I, because I returns a value that is of integer type. So int is not only a data type, int is a return type for I. Okay, they can ask you one question that int I is a data structure. Yes, int I is a data structure. How it is? Don't think it is just one I. Where is the data structure? Is it a stack? Is it a queue? Is it an array or linked list or something? No, it is nothing. But still, which data has some structure? I has a structure that is 2 bytes of memory it allocates. Okay, so I has a data structure that is 2 byte or 4 byte or whatever it is. I has a data structure. And what is the return type of I? Integer is the return type of I. Okay, so similarly, function also has a return type, but in this case, difference is nothing. If the function return type is integer, at the end of the function, it will be returning some value. So it is nothing but if the C value, instead of printing it from the function, if it would have got returned from the sum function, then I would have changed the function return type as integer. Okay, that I will come for the second round. Now, so we have just like int I, we have declared the function. It is called function declaration or prototype declaration. Okay. Now what I did? I just printed one line going to calculate the sum of two numbers, and I have just called the sum function. When I have called, please carefully observe, carefully listen. When I am calling some function, what is happening? Control is jumping from this location to this location. This location to function, where the function body is written. Like function body might have written in 1000 address. So control will be moved to 1000 address. Full addition will be performed, value will be printed. Okay. Return type is void. Void return type means what? It does not return any integer or float value. But what it does, it returns the control to the calling point. So what will happen? After printing 15 value, control will come back to the point where the function was called. I will remove this once and I will explain. See, because once you have seen. Once. Okay. So, function will, control will, one second. Control will come back to the calling point. Okay. When control is coming back to the calling point, what is the next work to be done? Next work is another sum function is getting called. Another sum function is getting called. So this blue color sum function is getting called. Don't think about color. I just try to mean that this is the brown color is the first time function call and sum is the second time function call. What extra I told is, if after calling this function, this body is executed in some other address location, let's say the address of this line is 10, whereas the address of this function is 100. So this is 102, 104, somewhere it is stored. I don't want to complicate it more. So somehow C is calculated. CPU has calculated the value of C. Now, how this sum will be executed? That was the point where I think you might have got confused. Control has moved here, so it is the responsibility of the compiler to take back the control to this point, so that again the next line can be executed. Because once the main is opened, you have to move, compiler has to move up to the end of main. Okay, so in this case, to execute this line, control must have to come back here, then only sum function, the second sum function can be called. Is this much understandable? Is this much understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
One second. I want to see the chat box once.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I understood.
Okay. Okay. Who is telling? Shamapti. Okay. Okay, 1 second. Okay, okay. So, very good for understanding. So, next time sum function will be called blue color sum. It is just sum only, just to change the color I am telling. This is the team 2. Okay. So, again it will be called and again this will be executed. Control will return back here. Now, nothing is there to execute. So, it will be ended. So, this is the simplest form of function execution. If you want to go for, you will not get such kind of questions in interview. There will be some twisted questions asked. Okay. So let us go for the little next higher level. Nothing much like that. Let's say I have one more sum function. Okay. So first this sum function will be called. First this sum function will be called, then this sum, then this sum. But one extra thing is I have written here printf %d sum. Printf %d sum means what? Sum will be called even if it is inside %d. But I won't be getting any value because this is not returning any value. So %d will expect some value to come here, not only the control to come back. Okay. So if I want some value to be returned, what I have to do is I have to change the return type of the function to get some value returned from some function to main function. So what I will do, I can even print it here also, but why to print 2 times? I won't print it from the function. I will be returning it from the function to the main function. So what will happen? This return C means it is 15, let's say. So 15 will be returned in this point. 15 will be returned in this point. So %d will print what? %d will print 15. So if you feel it is little complicated, you can just close this and you can open these two lines. You can just open these two lines to make your concept more clear. But okay, so in this case what will happen? C is returning a value. See how I have called the function. I have called the function here, and return value of the function I am storing inside a variable P. So is there any doubt that when I am returning C, return is coming inside some function? So only it is an assignment statement. Right side value will be assigned to left side. So sum is nothing but 15 now. It is not sum is 15. Sum got called. This is evaluated. C value is returned because integer return type, and I am returning here return C. Okay. So it is returned. Okay. So C is returned now. This C will be coming inside this only. How it is, you don't need to imagine so much. So only P will be getting the value of C. Now you can just print the value of P. So here 15 is getting returned, and which is assigned to P. So when you are printing P, you will be seen that P is printed. So either these two lines you will be writing, or if you write this one line, this is more than enough. Directly, if the value is not getting returned, then how the P will get the value 15? So instead of writing two lines, directly I can write sum. Directly I can write %d sum. So sum will be called, return value will come back, and it will be printed. Is it clear? Is it understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Kaushiki. Okay, Kaushiki. Yasha. Anindita. Okay. Okay. Ma'am, how did void sum change to int sum? No, void sum is not changed to int sum. I have changed it to int sum. Okay, I have changed it to int sum because when it was void sum, it was not returning any value. Okay, it was just printing the value from inside the function. Okay, now what I want the value to be returned from the function to the main function. My printf will be there in the main function. I will not have any printf in the function body. Okay, so what I need to do is to return an integer value, I need to make the return type of the function as integer. So this is because I want to return an integer value, I have made it integer. And obviously in the time of declaration also, I will be just changing it, make all those changes. So I will be changing it to integer. Okay. Who has asked? Who has asked? Just tell me. Okay. Understood
Yes,
now? Okay. Ayush, you have asked? Okay. Okay. Did you understood, Ayush? Shall I repeat once again?
No, understood.
Okay. I only have changed because I want to return the value. Okay. So if you are giving permission, I will be moving to the next function. In next function, how we have taken is, see here. Okay. One more important thing I missed to tell you. That is, okay. Okay. Here also you see, I will show you once again. These are the two brackets. Function starts here. Okay. Function ends here. So A, B, C are local to, all three are local to sum. If you are suddenly printing the value of, if you are writing printf, if you are just writing printf A by giving %d and all, you won't be able to print the value of A. Same scope, biryani is not available outside. Okay, biryani has a scope. A is a biryani, B is a tandoori, B scope and A scope is ended inside the sum only. But C has scope because we are returning C from function to the main function. So C is a glass of lassi which is getting returned from function to the main function. But biryani and tandoori is not getting returned. A, B is purely local. C is also local to the sum. So it does not have scope outside the sum function. But because we are returning the C value, so C value has scope outside the function. But A, B does not have scope. I cannot print A and B inside the main, because A, B is not having scope inside the main function. That is why it is called local variable of the. This is the concept of local variable. There we have taken the scope of just one block, and here it is a function. Function is also nothing but a block. Block is not a function, but function is a kind of block. Okay. Okay. Now we'll be moving to the next program. Here, what is the addition on top of this program is very simple. First, complete it. See, the declaration I have given globally. Global declaration means it is not inside the main. Can I do it? Yes, I can do it. Okay, I can do it. I can do it means I am allowed to declare it here. Even the same thing I can declare inside the main also. There is no problem. But if it is global, if there are so many other functions in this program, so all the functions, like Motrisha told, so many functions we can incorporate easily, smoothly in the program. So if you have another subtraction function, multiplication function, and you want subtraction and multiplication function also to call sum function. See, in your real life industry, when you will go, you will not be having a, like Shubhajit told, it is a modular approach. You will be having different module. All the modules are like kind of one function. So one module will be designed by one person, and one person can call any other's module. In this case, what I have to do, if you want to make module global, like accessible by everyone, that module's declaration, functions declaration should be global. Okay, not inside the main. If it is inside the main, it can be called only from main. Okay, if it is global, it can be called from some other function. If I would have had a sub function, I would have called the sum function from sub function also. It will be recognized by everyone. Now, main is having three variables, A, B and result. Okay, now we are asking user to enter two numbers, A and B, and we are passing the numbers what user is entering. Let's say user has entered 5 and 7. Okay, so how you are calling the function? You are calling the function by writing 6, 7. Up to that is understandable. What you are doing, is it understandable?
Yes, ma'am.
All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
If you agree, then I will proceed.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Any no, please let me know. Any no means let me know. Yes means no need to tell. Okay, so you are calling the function with 6 and 7. Now what is happening here? Here what is happening, there is a memory getting allocated for X, 2 bytes or 4 bytes. There is a memory getting allocated for Y. So what is happening here, 2 memories are getting allocated, and parallelly this 6 will be copied to X and 7 will be copied to Y. Okay, so parallelly initialization of the variable X and Y and copying of X and Y both are happening simultaneously, like one by one. Okay, so X has got the value 6 and Y has got the value 7. Now what will happen here, 6 plus 7, 13 will be calculated and printed. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now coming to the point, what is that called? This is called formal parameter and this is called actual parameter. Okay, what I told, function, just in the, this is a function, this is let's say this is the house of Shumantro Mistry. This is the house of Shumantro Mistry, and Shumantro is inviting Sujoy to his house. So this is Sujoy who is actually present here, and Shumantro standing in the door of his house. He is welcoming, doing the formality. So it is like when you are sending some original value here which you have actually scanned. So this is called actual parameter, and which value is received by the function, that is obviously you are going to create a dummy name for A and B, that is X and Y. So here some formality is happening. Okay, Shumantro is telling to Sujoy that welcome to my house. So he is doing the formality by welcoming Sujoy. So Sujoy is the actual parameter. What formality he is doing is, Shumantro is doing is here, that is formality. So just for remembering sake I am telling. So this is the actual parameter with which the function will be called, and this is called the formal parameter. Okay. One second. This one I won't take now. I left one topic which I will before I complete I must do. Illegal arithmetic with pointers. Okay. What are the operations allowed on pointer? Can we add 2 pointers? What is the answer? Can you tell me? Let's say I have taken address of I. To address we cannot add. What Debarko was telling. To address we cannot add. Okay. Address plus address means there is an address of I, there is an address of J. Okay. So I is 100, J address is 200. What will I do by adding to address? Do I have any aim that I will add to address and I can store some value inside that address? Do I have any use of that? You are staying in a locality, some Kaushik's house number is 100, and let's say Piyasha's house number is 200. So will I get any house if I add both of their house number? I'm not going to get any valid thing.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So similarly, if you add 2 yes, absolutely, I'm not going to get anything. Okay. Similarly, if I multiply, divide, they will be giving you the operations, or they will be giving you the symbol to ask which are the legal and which are the illegal operations on pointer. So star, modulus, division, and not, or not equals to, all those are not, and tilde, all the operators are not legal for pointer. But see, subtraction is missing. Why subtraction is allowed on pointer? Yesterday, if you have not forgotten, we have done temp minus a. We have taken a pointer. We have added the pointer with 3 value. Then we have subtracted. After adding, we have subtracted. Why subtraction is only allowed? Kaushiki?
We can subtract address yesterday.
Yes. Subtracted the address yesterday. If you subtract 2 addresses, you will be getting the difference between 2 addresses. If you have 2 integer pointer, one is pointing to location 10 and another one is pointing to location 16. If you find out the difference between them, you will be getting 3. Yesterday what we got, because in this range I have 3 integer stored. Okay, it indicates that. That is why only allowed operation on the address is subtraction operation. It gives the difference between 2 address, means it will help you to understand how many integers or how many characters are there in between these addresses. Okay, that will give you some count. So that is why only operation allowed on pointer is minus operation. Did you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let us come to structure. Can you see the other screen? Okay. Can you tell me if I give more light? I think it will be more clear. It's night, I'm not used to. Okay, so some reflection might be coming. Okay, let's say I have a structure. STRUCT. Red ink is visible, or I will be using some dark color, right? Red is visible?
No, ma'am, it's visible.
It's visible, ma'am.
It's visible. Okay. So struct. Okay. Okay. Sorry. Okay. If it is visible, let me continue with struct only. Let's say struct. Let's say struct A. I have taken. I am creating my own data structure. Till now, what we have discussed till array, it is a data structure which is already defined in stdio.h. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about a data structure which will be made by us and which will not be like array. Array, what was the drawback of array? This drawback and advantage tomorrow I'll discuss elaborately because that will be frequently asked questions in interview. Okay. So
the
suppose
drawback is we cannot
array
the
is a
different types of
collection.
data types.
Yes,
in array
Devako.
only store
when
one
I am
type of data.
Yes, only one type. So if I want to store the store all of your marks of pre-assessment test, I will be going for array. But how it will be sufficient? I need to store your name also. Only marks is not the only factor. So you see together. So I obviously want to include your marks. I will be taking a variable m. Okay, but along with that, I want to store your name also. So let me list out what all things I want to store about you. I want to store your what all things I have mentioned in Google form. I have mentioned marks I have not mentioned, but your name was there. Now your college name. So college name also will be character, and it will not be only character. It will be character array. So suppose if I want to store, I don't want to store array means I have to store marks in one array. I have to store name in one array. I have to store your this thing. I have to store your college name also in a different character array. But if I want to store all three things in a same data structure, I need to go for structure. Okay, structure is a data type. Structure is a data type which is a collection of heterogeneous data type. What is heterogeneity means? There is a integer, there is a character. If I want to store marks in float, I can have marks as float, your ID as integer. So I can take various data types and combined under a structure. The most important question from the basic structure is what is the memory allocated for this? What is the answer? Can you tell me? In 1 second answer. 1 second answer.
Ma'am, no
Allocation
memory will be
for
allocated.
that is no memory will be allocated. Answer is 0. Why 0? Because when int type is created, what is the meaning for int? Int. That if you take a variable of int type, it will be taking 2 bytes. But you are creating just like a int. That you take, if the definition of int is allocate 2 bytes of memory, your definition of struct A is allocate one integer, allocate 20 elements character array, allocate 140 elements character array. That is the definition you are giving. But the type of variable you have not yet taken. You have just given the name of this whole together as struct A. Now, when you are writing a variable, you are allowed to write a variable here. So the variable of structure type is B. Okay. Now B will have the size. So what is the size of B? Size of B is size of, all of you listen now, comments. Okay. As of now, you just concentrate just 1 minute, half minute more. It is 8:31. So B consists of one integer. So if it is 4 bytes, so 4 plus character takes 1. So 20 elements of character means 20 bytes. This is also character. Each character 1 byte means 40. So 40 plus 20, 60 plus 4 or 2. If it is 2, so 60. 2 bytes of memory will be allocated for B. And the third question about it is this 64 byte allocation will be a contiguous allocation. First is M. Okay. then is, I'm not changing the color, time is up. Next 20 is for N, and next 40 bytes will be for C. Okay, so structure also will be having linear memory allocation. So it is a linear data structure. It is a type, so no memory required. Until and unless you are taking a first variable will be having a memory of this type. So non-linear, no non-linearity. Till that also we have the linear data structure, and these are all sequential memory. These are all sequential memory. If it is memory 15, so 15 to 4, so up to 19 it is integer, then 19 to another 20, so 39. Okay, till 39 it is for character N, then till 4 plus 3, 79 it is for character C array. Okay, so this is how the allocation is, sequential allocation. Okay, is it fine? This much is understandable. We will start with tomorrow nested structure. Nested structure is having two types. Okay, one is embedded structure, one is separate structure, which you might not have known separately, and structure padding next, then we'll go to union. Okay, so is it clear? Is it clear now? If so, you can just leave. Sorry for taking 3 extra minutes. Okay. Okay. All can leave now. If you have anything to tell me.
ম্যাম বলছি ওই মেমোরি অ্যালোকেশন ফার্স্টে যেটা ছিল ওটা 0 কেন হলো?
মেমোরি অ্যালোকেশন 0 কেন হলো, তার কারণ হচ্ছে এটা তুমি একটা টাইপকে তৈরি করছো। ধরো যখন তুমি ইন্টিজার টাইপটা তৈরি করছো, তুমি তো ইন্টিজার টাইপটা তৈরি করনি, ওটা স্ট্যান্ডার্ড ইনপুট ফাইলের মধ্যে ওই ইন্টিজার টাইপটা মানে কি সেটা তৈরি করা আছে। তুমি এবারে একটা নতুন টাইপ তৈরি করছো, সেই টাইপটার নাম কি? স্ট্রাক্ট এ টাইপ। যখন ইন্টিজার টাইপটা অন্য কেউ তৈরি করেছিল তখন সে কিভাবে তৈরি করেছিল বলতো? ধরে নাও, জাস্ট অ্যাজিউম ইন্ট allocate 2 bytes of memory, allocate 2 bytes of memory. একটা টাইপ তৈরি হলো, যে টাইপটার নাম হচ্ছে ইন্টিজার। I've created a type whose name is integer. Okay, here you are creating a type, that name is struct a type. যখন তুমি ইন্টিজারটা টাইপটা ক্রিয়েট করছো তখন কিন্তু তার জন্য কোনো মেমরি অ্যালোকেট হচ্ছে না। এক মিনিট 1 minute more. You have created a type that is a bold type. Okay, now you are putting clay on it. So what you will get after you put a clay, you will be just taking the clay here in hand and you will be getting a shape of this type. Okay, only int when it is created, it means you have created the container where the how should be the container. Okay, now creating a variable means you are giving sweet in that and you are getting a shape of the sweet like that. So at that time sweet memory is allocated. Similarly, when you have created the type, there is no memory allocation. তুমি বলছো যে কতটা বাইট যদি কেউ স্ট্রাক্টে টাইপের ভেরিয়েবল ডিক্লেয়ার করে তাকে কত বাইট অ্যালোকেট করতে হবে সেটা তুমি ডিফাইন করছো, যেটা এতদিন হেডার ফাইলে ইন্ট মানে কত, ক্যার মানে কত থাকতো। এবার তুমি এ মানে স্ট্রাক্ট এ মানে কত না, স্ট্রাক্ট এ মানে 64 বাইট, এটা তুমি তৈরি করে দিলে। এবার তুমি যেমন ইন্ট আই ডিক্লেয়ার করো, এটা এখানে কেটে দাও। তুমি এবার কি করবে, তোমার নতুন টাইপটার নাম কি? স্ট্রাক্ট এ। যে টাইপটা আগে থেকে তৈরি করা আছে সেটা কি? ধরো ইন্ট ছিল, তুমি যেমন ইন্ট আই টাইপের একটা ভেরিয়েবল ডিক্লেয়ার করো, এবার তুমি স্ট্রাক্ট এ টাইপের একটা ভেরিয়েবল ডিক্লেয়ার করলে, সেটা হচ্ছে আই। যখন তুমি ইন্ট শুধু ইন্ট লেখো তখন কি কোনো মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হয়? হয় না। যখন তুমি ইন্ট আই লেখো তখন আই এর জন্য মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হয়, তাই তো? তাহলে যখন তুমি স্ট্রাক্ট এ লিখছো, স্ট্রাক্ট এটা স্ট্রাকচার কিরকম হবে না, এটা কালেকশন, এটা না শুধু 2 বাইট নয়, এটা হচ্ছে 64 বাইট। স্ট্রাক্টের সাইজ কত? স্ট্রাক্টের সাইজ হচ্ছে 64 বাইট। তুমি এই স্ট্রাক্টের সাইজটাকে তৈরি করে দিচ্ছ। এবারে তুমি এই টাইপের একটা ভেরিয়েবলকে ক্রিয়েট, ঠিক আছে? তাহলে এই আইটার জন্য এই যে মেমরিটা অ্যালোকেটেড হয়েছে, এই মেমরিটা অ্যালোকেটেড হয়েছে কার জন্য? i এর স্ট্রাকচার হচ্ছে এই টাইপটা প্রোভাইড করছে বুঝতে পারা গেল?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম বুঝতে পেরেছি।
পিয়াসা?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম বুঝতে পেরেছি।
আচ্ছা একটু কোথাও যেন মনে হচ্ছে ক্লিয়ার হলো না।
ম্যাম আরেকবার বলবেন?
ইন্টটা, হ্যাঁ আবার বলছি, ইন্টটা তৈরি করাই থাকে স্ট্যান্ডার্ড ইনপুট আউটপুট ফাইলের মধ্যে, ইন্টটা তৈরি করাই থাকে। ইন্ট মানে কি? অ্যালোকেট 2 বাইটস অফ মেমরি। যখন স্ট্যান্ডার্ড হেডার ফাইল যেটা যার থেকে আমরা ইন্ট জিনিসটাকে নিয়ে ইউজ করছি তার মধ্যে যখন ইন্টটা কি রকম বলা থাকে তখন কি কোনো মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হয়? সেখানে কোনো মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হয় না। এবার তুমি তোমার নিজস্ব প্রোগ্রামটা করছো, করে তুমি কি করছো, তোমার প্রোগ্রামটার মধ্যে তুমি ইন্টটাকে এবার ইউজ করছো, যে ডেটা টাইপটা করলে তোমার 2 বাইট মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হবে সেটাকে তুমি এখানে ইউজ করছো। করে যখন তুমি একটা ভেরিয়েবল ডিক্লেয়ার করছো তখন কি হচ্ছে না i এর নামে 2 বাইট মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হয়ে যাচ্ছে। এই ব্যাপারটা ক্লিয়ার হলো? এই জিনিসটা ক্লিয়ার হলো?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম।
ইন্টটা যখন তৈরি হয়েছিল মেমরি মানে কম্পাইলার যখন মানে ডিজাইনার অফ সি যখন তৈরি করেছিল তখন কিন্তু কোনো মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হয়নি। তুমি যখন ইন্টটাকে ইউজ করে ওই টাইপের একটা ভেরিয়েবল দিচ্ছ তখন মানে যখন ওটা তৈরি হয়েছিল তখন বলা হয়েছে যে ওই ইন্টের জন্য কত বাইট মেমরি। আদার্স ক্যান লিভ ইফ ইউ ডোন্ট হ্যাভ এনি কোয়েশ্চেন ইউ ক্যান লিভ। ওকে, তো তুমি যখন এই ইন্টটা তৈরি হয়েছিল তখন কিন্তু বলে দেওয়া হয়েছিল যে এর জন্য কত বাইট মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হবে। সিমিলারলি তুমি একটা স্ট্রাক্টে টাইপের ভেরিয়েবল তৈরি করছো, স্ট্রাক্টে টাইপের একটা টাইপ তৈরি করছো, মানে এটাই ধরো একটা টাইপ, আমি বলছি পিয়াসা টাইপ। সো হোয়াট ইজ দ্য টাইপ অফ পিয়াসা? না পিয়াসা টাইপের যদি কেউ ভেরিয়েবল ডিক্লেয়ার করে তার সাইজ হবে হচ্ছে 64 বাইট। তাহলে এটা হচ্ছে টাইপটা আমি তৈরি করলাম, ঠিক আছে? এবার এই টাইপটা কি? স্ট্রাক্ট এ টাইপ। তাহলে স্ট্রাক্ট এ টাইপটা লেখার পরে আমি যখন আই বলে একটা ভেরিয়েবলকে ডিক্লেয়ার করলাম তখন এই আইটার স্ট্রাকচার কি রকম হবে? স্ট্রাক্ট এ এর মতো হবে। স্ট্রাক্ট এ মানে কি? তার সাইজ হচ্ছে 64 বাইট বা 62 বাইট যাই বলো। তাহলে আই এর সাইজ হচ্ছে এইটা। স্ট্রাক্ট এ এর কিন্তু সাইজটা 64, কিন্তু স্ট্রাক্ট এ কথাটা শুধু যদি লিখে দাও তাহলে কিন্তু 64 বাইট অ্যালোকেটেড হবে না। যেমন শুধু ইন্ট লেখা থাকলে কোনো মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হয় না, ঠিক আছে? তুমি এই ইন্টটার বদলে একটা নতুন ডেটা টাইপ নিজে তৈরি করেছো এবং সেখানে তুমি শুধু ইনস্ট্রাকশন দিয়েছো যে স্ট্রাক্ট এ বললে কত বাইট মেমরি অ্যালোকেটেড হবে। তারপর যখন তুমি এই টাইপ নতুন ক্রিয়েটেড টাইপটাকে ইউজ করে একটা ভেরিয়েবল ডিক্লেয়ার করছো তখন ভেরিয়েবলটা সাইজ নিচ্ছে, ঠিক আছে?